Welcome back guys, Slyback in here. So currently in the Overwatch subreddit there is a nice survey running that's had 37,000 respondents, which is a nice proportion of the community, and it gives us a nice overview maybe of how the community feels about certain characters, etc. I just thought it was really interesting. Numbers really interest me. So I thought I'd make a quick video about it, go over some of the answers that were given, and do you guys agree with it? Do you guys not agree with it? Like I say, 37,000 respondents. It's a fair chunk of the Overwatch community. So I think the community kind of thinks this way. So let's have a look at it. Which character is the most annoying for you to play against? We've got old May coming out at number 1. Probably not a huge surprise there. Tourbillon and Tracer coming in at number 2 and 3 respectively. Genji number 4. I would assume Tourbillon's up so high because of the console. So remember, this is for both PC and console players. There's no differentiating between the two. So that might change after the nerf to Tourbillon takes effect on console. Where's Bastion? 6.5%. It's not as high as I would have thought he was. So that's quite interesting. Which character would you least like to see on your team? So we've got Hanzo. Looks like Hanzo at number 1. Actually, no, all characters are welcome. Friendly Care Bear Bunch coming in at 30%. No, Hanzo's number 1. Most annoying character you don't want to see on your team. Genji at number 2. Widowmaker number 3. Well, that's quite surprising, having the snipers at the top that you don't want to see on your team, and Genji up there as well. Just lately, really in the last, I guess, week or so, I've seen a lot of really good Genji players. So, yeah. I mean, I don't particularly agree with that. If it's a good Genji player, obviously we want him on our team. If he's not, he's pretty rubbish, isn't he? So, I was going to say, can we actually see the other end? Which is our most favourite? Which is your most played or favourite character? Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to know. So we got, well, surprisingly, we got Mercy coming out at number top as their favourite or most played. Who's number 2 on that one? Number 2, Genji. And Junkrat Lucio coming in there at number 3. So Genji is number 2. Yeah, number 2 as favourite or most played character, but it's one of the least that people actually want to see on the team. That's surprising. Which character, if any, do you think needs to be nerfed? Well, this will be interesting. Tourbillon obviously coming out number 1, a big advantage there. Like I say, this is pre-Tourbillon nerf, so that might change after that. So let's kind of discount Tourbillon for this one. So who we got in there in second place? Bastion. Bastion second. Hanzo, May. Mercy needs a nerf? Really? Okay. That's quite interesting. Mercy coming out at number 4. Oh, equal with Widowmaker. I think this is post Widowmaker nerf, so that's still quite interesting that she's still quite high. I kind of agree with that. I do think she needs a bit more tweaking, but that's okay. Who's the one that people want to see least nerfed? Zenyatta and D.Va. So that'll lead us on to the next question. Who do we want to see most buffed? 40% for D.Va. My girl D.Va, oh my god. And then Zenyatta coming in second. But 40%, that's huge. So almost 15,000 people out of the 37 think that D.Va needs a buff. Wow. That's interesting. That is quite interesting. And when we say Zenyatta coming in number 2, Zenyatta, I've seen a lot of Zenyatta players just, again, in the last week or so, really since the Widowmaker nerf, I guess Zenyatta's definitely started to be a bit more prominent in games. So, yeah. I don't know if he particularly needs a buff. Kinda. I mean, his damage is good, of course. Maybe a wee buff to his survivability. Symmetra in there at number 3. Yeah, I don't particularly think Symmetra needs a buff per se. I think she needs a tweak to her toolset because it's not that interesting to play with. I think that's probably more. So I don't think that that doesn't necessarily need to be a buff, just more flavour, I guess. Which characters do you consider yourself well versed in? So which characters do people think they are good with? So we've got Lucio, Mercy, the 2 healers up the top. Soldier. Soldier's one of the easier classes to grab hold of, I guess. He's not necessarily one of the ones to be a master with, but he's definitely one of the easy ones to start with. Roadhog, Reinhardt, up there. Junkrat. Fair. There's quite a lot, actually, that people consider to be quite... Well, they consider themselves to be quite good with, which is quite surprising. So who's the lowest there? People don't think that they're very good with. Bastion, I think. Yeah, Bastion. People don't think they're very good with Bastion? Okay, that's surprising. And then Hanzo, McCree, Genji. I would have thought Bastion would have been quite high. That's interesting. Which characters do you think are the easiest to use and best for beginners? Wow, Soldier. Soldier. I can see there's some oddities in the numbers here, so people are obviously allowed to vote more than once on this, so that's okay. But Soldier's definitely taken out the largest chunk there. So Soldier's definitely the easiest class to pick up. What I said before, not necessarily the easiest to be great with, but definitely the easiest to start with, just because he's so relatable to other FPS games. And then we've got Torbjorn, obviously, with the turrets, and Bastion. So even though Bastion is considered pretty easy for new players to play with, not a lot of people think that they're very good with Bastion. That's interesting. When playing as the only tank character on your team, who are you most likely to pick? Most people, half of the people will pick Reinhardt, followed by Roadhog and Zarya. Poor Winston and D.Va coming up the behind. Right, if it's me, I usually pick Roadhog if I'm the only one. Well, no, that's more like if there's no healer, I'll pick Roadhog. But if there is a healer, I probably would pick Reinhardt. Yeah, that's probably fair. When playing as the only support role in your team, who are you most likely to pick? Pretty even Stevens there. Both about 50% on the two main healers, and then Zenyatta and Symmetra. And 2.5% of people don't play a support. Yeah, you bastards, play a support. And a tank, come on. Pick up the slack. Well, that's really interesting. You obviously can vote more than once, but that doesn't really matter. Some interesting numbers in there. I definitely think, the buff and nerf one is probably the most interesting point. What does the community feel? Which classes are the strongest, etc. I'm going to rule out Torbjorn from this because we already know that he's got a nerf incoming. We do actually know that D.Va's going to have a buff incoming. We just don't know what it is at this stage. So who did we say was second? Zenyatta, yeah. And who came in third on community's opinion on who needs a buff? Symmetra. And then the rest are fairly even, It's pretty good spread across the rest of them, which is quite nice. And on who needs a nerf, I guess it's kind of the same thing. Take Torbjorn out of it, and then you've got this group here with Bastion, Hanzo, Mei, followed by Mercy, but then it's kind of an equal spread across the board. So I think that's pretty good balance, really. What do we got? 21 characters, and there's only a couple that really stand out as needing adjustments. I think that's, real big thumbs up to Blizzard. So, awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to put a link to the survey or to the thread in the description down below. So go check it out if you haven't already. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.